Welcome to the Bell Tech Talk segment of the Vertical MRO podcast. This segment takes you into the nuts and bolts of helicopter maintenance. It's about safety, support, and operational readiness. Top priorities for the Bell team. Join us for technical insights and personal stories from the front lines of helicopter maintenance from the industry-leading experts at Bell. Hey everybody, welcome back to Vertical MRO. I'm your host, Val Medved, and today we have one of those awesome pathfinding shows where it's not really been done before by anybody else. And I'm really excited to introduce the next couple of guests that are kind of bring this to our absolute pleasure of this all. I have Greg Judd, the CSE, and Marc Dubé, PSE, both with Bell. Welcome, boys.
Thanks for having us, Val.
Happy to be here.
Well, yeah. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. And today we officially named this podcast the Bell Tech Talk. If we're going to go with it, Tech Talk.
Go with Tech.
Yep, Tech Talk it is.
Yep.
Tech Talk it is.
Till somebody tells us different, right?
until somebody says, no, that sounds too corny or whatever. So it's like, change it up. But here we are, Bell Tech Talk. Here it is. Long anticipated, lots of conversations being had in the background here. And it's finally to fruition. So thanks guys for coming on board with this. Thanks for kind of the contributions of the conversations had on this. And I'm really excited about this show. So I'm thankful to have you both on here, guys.
Yeah, we're excited too. It's thanks for giving us the opportunity.
Yep.
This is awesome.
Oh, anytime. So I'll let you guys kind of explain a little bit here about what we're doing here with the Bell Tech Talk, and just it's a great forum for us to talk about your helicopters and to what we're going to be looking at, discussing and covering helicopters that need particular information sets basically out to them. I'll let you guys go first. Greg, if you want to we'll go with the Greg and or Marc here. I'll let one of you two start. Just give us a little bit of history about yourself and how you got to where you're at.
You want to go, Marc? You want me to go?
I can go.
Sure.
So a little bit of history about myself. So started in aviation early 2000. Well, I studied actually aviation maintenance. And I was actually discussing that with Greg during lunchtime.
Yeah.
And it was kind of the first time in my family that anybody got into aviation. That was not a known sector at all. Nobody knew anything about it. And I was just looking into, okay, I want to be a mechanic sometimes. I don't want to be a car mechanic because there's too many of those. I want to be something special. So found out about aviation, started studying in it. And then I've started working for some private, companies here and there. And the first time, actually, my father, I was telling that to Greg also. First time my father came to bring me to that first company I worked for was in Quebec, in Sept-Îles. And he dropped my toolbox and looked at me and said, "You got to fix this thing?" And it was an helicopter just there. I'm like, "Yeah, that's what I'm going to do, Dad." And he was like, "Holy, wow. That's amazing." So kept working in the industry. So.
Did you take that as a compliment or a holy crap moment? Like
It was, for him, it was the first time I think it was so serious. So it was like, okay,
yes.
He didn't know because he didn't know aviation at all. So yeah, that was fun. It was cool.
You're the one who brought the sickness into the family with the helicopter sickness.
Yeah, okay. I did.
Nice.
And now everybody that my father sees, they talk about, "Hey, my son's doing this, is in the helicopter business, blah, blah, blah." So that's kind of fun. Really fun. So
congratulations. So you're 20 plus years now, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I'm 20 plus years. I've worked for operators for roughly 15 years, and I've been with Bell for the last 7 years. Roughly.
Oh, congratulations, sir. You got some longevity here. Congratulations. That's awesome.
Thanks.
That's awesome. Should we now turn it over to the young buck?
Yeah, the young buck. Yeah.
So last week when I
through because you found it on Instagram, right? Is that what it was?
Right, yeah. Well, I saw a YouTube video.
Yeah.
I was actually looking up. No, I got hooked on helicopters when I was growing up. The little town I was growing up in, they were doing a lot of oil and gas exploration. So, you may all remember the iconic company Rocky Mountain Helicopters. Some may remember them, some may not. But they were based in our town, and there was a mechanic there that kind of took me under his wing when I was young. Kind of showed me what he did every day, and I'd clean helicopters for rides. So I'd clean whatever they had. I'd clean windows, do whatever, and they'd give me a ride every once in a while, and it was all good. But, as is Marc. I'm the only one in my family that's in aviation, and I have 4 siblings. And initially, my folks, well, even to this day, we were actually laughing about this at lunch. I tried to explain to them what it is I do now for work, and I've given up on that because all they see is I'm talking on the phone or working on my laptop, and they pay you for that. I don't get that. I just don't. Yeah. Anyhow, but no, I kind of along the same lines as Marc. Got intrigued by it. Got my licenses. Worked on corporate aircraft, fixed wing for a while. They got into the helicopter, did some game capture, just a little bit of game capture with 500s. Had a great experience with that company. Just unfortunately, things turned there, and economy kind of did a number on us there. But then I went to work for a Bell Service Center in Utah there, and worked there for 13 years, working different titles from different positions from. Line mechanic to overhaul to paint stuff.
Yeah.
Chief inspector. I got a huge amount of experience in 13 years on a lot of different models. Luckily, the folks that owned that facility, the owner was a super nice guy, gentleman that gave us the opportunity to work on whatever. If we were interested, we could work. He didn't stop us from doing that, and really that led to having enough experience to be qualified to join the Bell team for me. And so in 2013, I joined the Bell team. So
2013. Okay.
2013, I was with Bell, but I actually technically started my aviation
So
career.
hold on here, Marc. So he is the young buck. He's the young one in the totem pole here, buddy. Okay. We got you now, Greg.
Well, if you back up to 1989,
Okay, here we go. Yeah.
started my license. So, yeah. But no,
gotcha.
It's been good. Been a good adventure, I would say. I'd call it adventure because it has been an adventure.
Yeah, it is. It is an adventure.
Life in itself is an adventure, and the fact that we get to have these cool jobs working with these cool things that fly in the sky, I should say.
Yeah.
That's gravy on top of the potatoes, boys. That's well done.
absolutely.
Congratulations to you both.
It's pretty awesome. Yeah.
We can talk about now here what we're going to be looking at doing here with this awesome kind of form of podcast. Again, trailblazing, groundbreaking, and how it came together here with kind of really discussing everything that we're going to be kind of looking at going, whether it's a quarterly basis or just an informative basis. I'll let you guys kind of lead the way on it, and we'll just kind of talk about it as we go along.
Cool.
Go ahead, Greg. I'll let you start because you're the one that got the idea.
Well, I don't know that I got the idea, but I definitely have been.
Oh, there it is.
I have been trying to put something like this together for a while, trying to get everybody excited about it, but not. I mean, when we had opportunities, but really, at the end of the day here with us, the Tech Talk idea is we publish bulletins, we publish tech bulletins and different things, and a lot of questions we get asked as tech reps when they're in the field, customer service engineers is, man, a video or if you could explain the details on this, what you're doing here, what do you guys, what's the intent of this inspection or what, whatever, right? And so really, it's time for us to embrace what's going on today to communicate with the folks in the field. Mm-hmm. I'm old school, as you know, because I'm the youngest one on the call.
Yeah.
I walk in the facilities, we all do, and we see that this generation of aircraft technicians, they're into podcasts, they're into this type of media. This is how they learn.
Agreed.
And really, we needed a platform where we could share our knowledge with the next generation, and we could help clarify what we're trying to achieve in helicopter safety with our manuals and such. And this is it's a perfect platform. Well, I mean, this is another way of us so we can connect with our customers on another level to provide top support. Mm-hmm. And that's really what our focus is. Safety. We want our operators to be safe.
It really is unprecedented. So good for you for kind of really beating that drum to kind of really kind of want to get this launched. And, I was told that you were the excited one to kind of get this up and running.
I'm excited. So that's kind of it in a nutshell from my side.
it's also a good place. I mean, everybody can access it easily with earpods or whatever. You can listen to it at night. And then again, like Greg said, it's another way to reach out to our customers and give them a little bit more information or some tips on our products or maintenance that you do on our products. So yeah, it's awesome. I think fantastic idea to go there, Mr. Judd.
Yes. This is if I may, it's our opportunity to share our passion
Yeah. Also, yeah, absolutely.
for helicopter aviation.
Yes. Yeah. And Mark, to your point, yeah, there's a lot of guys that just walk around the hangar if they're concentrated on working on a particular, transmission section, or if they're working on the rotor head itself, and they're listening to shows like this where it is informative. Like it's we're entertaining all the same, but if you have individuals that kind of had turn wrench on particular items that were having issues in the past, and kind of maybe just a little snippet, even just something to promote the idea, to spark the idea, then it's a job well done. So it's like you said, to kind of go back to Greg here. It's very innovative here, and good for you guys for kind of molding to the change, because today's AMEs, the younger AMEs in generation, podcasts are it.
They are, yeah.
So when the decision was made to kind of now go forward with the podcast, obviously there's conversations had there with Vertical and all that. The now we just got to kind of be looking at what platforms we'll be talking about and how we're going to be coming. That's going to be a challenge in itself. I'll let you guys kind of roadmap that as we go along.
Some of the issues we help with in the field, some of the troubleshooting and such, it's a repeat question. We'll get the same question from multiple customers, and it may be related to, let's say, contact enhancers. With the integrated avionics systems now, you have a lot of critical connections that are
sure.
We use some contact enhancers, stuff like that, to help keep those connections clean and free and good. We see situations where people are overachievers, or they don't know what happened before then. Someone else might have been troubleshooting the problem, get handed off to them. They put more contact enhancer on there, and then you're having other issues generated by too much of a good thing.
You got a bulk overload in one sector.
And that's just a quick little taste of it. But the idea is to share the tribal knowledge we have on systems, but also good practices and techniques for maintaining aircraft. Stuff we consider as critical to the reliability of your operation of your aircraft. And the simple stuff. I mean, maybe not simple stuff, but it's stuff when we see repeat questions about the same thing, that's really what drove me to saying, we could do something like a podcast where we could share this information with anybody, and not to lessen the burden on us, but to help everybody that maybe has that question but never thought they could call us to ask it. As another,
there you go.
Yeah,
another avenue of communicating with our customer. Another channel to communicate with our customers. So it's
use the platform.
It's stuff like that is what, examples like that. And then we'll get into some deeper stuff. One of the things is the ASB portion of the podcast where we want to talk, Mark, you can talk to that.
Yeah,
absolutely. So I think what we're looking at is really two things. The first one is really to do those tech talks where we can bring specific subjects that we can discuss on our platforms, on our aircrafts. Mm-hmm. But the other portion of it will be shorter podcasts where we maybe talk about like 5 or 10 minutes about a specific bulletin that we've released that may affect our customers maybe a lot more. We don't really want to do like one for everything we release, but the ones that we know that are going to affect our customers a lot, that's where maybe we want to explain a little bit more than just this little block or description block on our bulletins. So that's where we'll be able to give a little bit more around it and explain the whys and all the questions that customers may have. Because if one customer has a question, a lot of people have questions. You have one guy asking a question, there's probably a dozen of guys that have the same question. So that's going to be a way for us to actually answer those questions. Yeah.
I was going to run off that by simply saying what you guys are doing when it comes to the educational side of it, whether you're introducing like you said, like if it's like even a service directive bulletin or something of that notice. Not necessarily doesn't have to be particularly something so critical, but just to the point where it's informative, where you're probably getting the same 10 questions asked, just in different variances from different operators.
Exactly.
And if you kind of put it out in layman's terms and say, check, 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 and this, and now it's kind of like, okay, I think I can now kind of track back to it. So yeah, again, groundbreaking, guys, groundbreaking.
Yeah.
So to add to that, keep in mind, we have aircraft all over the world. So, I help support the folks in Latin America as well with the team I'm on, and they write and can read English. The technicians are pretty good at, because that's all we publish our manuals in. But then if we give them another platform to explain the intent behind these ASBs, to clear up the fog that, anytime you write a technical bulletin or an ASB, it's very difficult to write it to where everyone can understand it easily. It's because of the technical nature of them. So if we take this platform and we break it down to where we're just having a conversation about it, that clears up the fog.
Yeah.
That's our intent, is to clear up that fog between the technical writing and what we're actually doing here. You
probably have a lot to deal with also there when it comes to the interpretations of it as well too. So talks in those forums help. Tops in those forums will absolutely clear it up.
Yeah.
Marc, you're going to say something?
No, I mean, that's a very good point. I mean, sometimes you read it and just I may read something one way and Greg may read something, the same thing and understand something different. So this will just help clearing all those questions again, or interpretation that you may want to clear out. Yeah.
Interpretation.
Yep. Interpretation. Like making sure you have the good information and you know what you're supposed to do and why you're supposed to do it, basically.
And to keep in mind, ASBs are safety driven, right? Alert service bulletins are safety driven. So it's another way for us to get the safety message out.
Yep. Faster you can get it out, the more it makes an impact, and the safer you fly, flat out.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Flat out. When it comes to the absolute structure of what you guys are doing there now, and as Bell as a group, when you guys have the service offerings that you have, just talk a little bit about your support to your customer base and to your growing customer base to support not only your legacy platforms, but I guess your upcoming platforms, right?
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about that and how your group is structured around that?
So I'll talk about the CSE side, the customer service engineer side, first, and then if that's all right, Marc, you can.
That's all right, because that's where it starts, Greg.
Yeah. Well, good point. We're usually the first ones to communicate with the customer with technical issues. And the reason our relationship starts at the delivery of the aircraft with the customer. So we're introduced either during the delivery process, a few months before, we'll be talking to the customer or the customer's maintainer. But our role is really building the relationship with the customer on the technical support side, so they know who to call when they have a problem, when they have a technical issue or a question. They know they can call us and we can get the ball rolling. And the way we try to structure our teams is, at least this is the way it was when I started, everybody has their expertise on the team. So just because I cover a region doesn't mean I'm going to be an expert on every model or every system, but I have access to someone on the team that can help me support you within minutes, and so the strength is in the team. We have avionics experts, we have airframe experts, we have rotor, we have drivetrain folks. I've done a fair amount of overhaul. I've done a lot of rotor track and balance on the lights and the mediums. So we complement each other on the team, but we're there. Our number one role is supporting the customer at the first level. And then as we get into deeper issues, then we'll pass, we'll coordinate with PSE, pass on to PSE. But we're like the boots on the ground, for lack of a better term, or we are the customer facing technical support portion of that.
Frontline.
Yep, frontline. Yep. And that's where we start. That's where it starts. And it's
exactly, yeah.
Yeah, I've done I've done another video about this, but really it's all about the relationship with our customers, so they get started on the right foot, and we're all trying to work together. It's challenging. It's hard sometimes to connect with these new customers. It's hard to stay connected with them with everything that's going on in the world, but we try to say, hey, we're a phone call away. Just pick up the phone and call. And we pride ourselves on answering that phone when the customer calls. That's our job. Answer the phone.
It's a rare commodity nowadays, my friend.
That's what we hear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kudos to you for doing that. Kudos. And as you said it earlier, you have customers in all four corners of this world. So technology being as advanced as it is, if they can't call you, they can video you. If they can't video you, they'll message you. Like, it's just, there's multiple ways now to communicate. So if you will get tested upon how you respond to your customers. So good job on that.
We try.
So that's more on the CSE. Yeah, that's more on the CSE level, because like Greg is saying, they are customer facing, they're in the field, closer to the customers. For PSEs, we have various locations, mainly in Mirabel, where the aircraft are manufactured.
Okay.
And then we also have some guys in Singapore. That's for our coverage, or 24/7 coverage. It helps with that. We have a guy in Belle Piney Flat now, and there's also a guy in Fort Worth, Texas. And basically, the biggest difference, what I like to explain, is that, again, your CSE is going to be your first point of contact. They are at the field level. They are close to the customers. And we actually have multiple customers. We have the Bell owners, operators, maintainers. That's easy. But the CSEs are one of our biggest customers, actually.
Okay.
So they call us all the time when they're on the road. They get a question from their customers. They can't answer right now. They call us. Can you give an answer to this customer? Can you help him while I'm not there? And so on. So, I mean, yeah, we have all our customers, all owners, operators, maintainers. We have our CSEs. We have other folks at Bell that are also our customers. And again, the other difference with the PSEs is we're a little bit more split. So when you actually call a PSE or a PSE in Mirabel or Singapore, you're not calling one guy. You're actually calling 25 guys that are all technical and that all have specific forces or specific roles within PSE. Some of them may be specialized in lights. Some of them may be specialized in intermediate aircrafts.
Yeah.
Some of them will be specialized in medium and so on, and also to specific systems. So if you need to talk to an avionic or a structure guy, that's quite easy. But then if you want to go into a little bit more deeper into, for example, 429 fuel system, well, you'll actually ask your question, hey, I got a 429 fuel question. Can I talk to somebody who's knowledgeable on that? And we'll pass you to that specific person. So everybody's specialized.
Wow, so instant diversity.
It is. So we have key person. They all have their job. They all know what they're specialized in. And that's how we help each other.
24 hours a day.
And again, we're like 24 hours a day. We're like 25 here in Mirabel. We have like 3 guys in Singapore and so on. And also, if somebody specializes in one system, he may stand up and look at the other guy, and they may start a discussion. And then guess what? You're not calling one individual. You're actually calling 3, 4 people discussing the same issue within.
Now you're opening a forum.
Yeah, you have a forum.
Yeah.
And on average, everybody has like 25, 30 years plus experience in this department. So, I mean, you're calling a whole bunch of knowledge here to help resolve your issues. So that's it. That's what PSE does.
So that was quite a bit with CSE side of the world there, Marc. Kind of having everybody on the understanding and basically 24-hour support.
Yep.
On the CSE side, Greg, when you're involved on something like that, just if you want to kind of elaborate a little bit more on what the CSEs relationships to the PSEs are. And Marc, you made a great explanation there, saying your CSEs are your some of your most important customers in addition to your customer base.
Yes.
If you want to talk about that, please feel free to do so.
No, absolutely. Marc and the PSE team, we can't do our job without them, right? So really the message is you get a collective team when you make that phone call. You just may not see it, but we'll call PSE. I'll call them a couple times a day, usually talking just to talk about something we're dealing with. And they, we don't necessarily get into the weeds too much, but it's nice to know you can call. We know who the experts are, the subject matter experts are in PSE, and I may call Marc and say, hey, Marc, I got this going on, blah, blah, blah. And I'll call the drivetrain guy one day and say, hey, have you ever seen this when you're doing overhauls? So we have all this we have all this background, help that really makes us, number one, makes us look really like we're really good at what we do. But in reality, it's just, it's the
we
team.
know where to find the answers.
You guys actually care about people. Go figure, right?
That's it.
We try.
It's
we
awesome.
try.
Love it.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, I would say we're probably one of PSE's number one customers, and they help us help customers every day, and the relationship is, nothing short of fantastic. These guys, they're like everyone. Just because they leave work doesn't mean they've left work. You can call them. I mean, I have most all these guys' personal cell phones, and we call after hours. We talk a lot, so it's like you can't get away from it. Aviation, helicopters.
In a good way.
In a good way.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. This is what we do. But, in short, as I said in the beginning here, you get the collective team. It's the support. You may be talking to me individually, but there's a bunch of us behind the scenes, supporting that one phone call.
Good.
And I need to say this because it's hugely important. It goes clear down to everybody at Bell, from the people in the warehouse to the people in the spares department to the people, even in, tech pubs, wherever. When we have an issue, they answer the phone, they help us, and that helps the customer. And that I think is what makes our team so effective as a unit to help support the customers. So it's pretty cool.
If you're dealing with people that are flight critical operators,
Absolutely,
and they're needing that information within the second that they place the call and you guys are on it, kudos to you for your team for kind of standing in front of it, delivering, and then kind of finishing the product. So good for you for that.
Absolutely.
We try. Yeah, we try. Challenge. There's a lot of challenges involved in today's world, but we try to find the solution as quick as we can for the customer. That's our goal.
What they say, Greg, if it was easy, everybody be doing it, right?
Well, they let me do it, so it must not be too difficult. So.
Yeah, youngest guy on the team, all of a sudden just put him at the front of it. What the hell?
Bad choices. Bad choices followed by bad choices.
It's not all bad. It's all good, baby. It's all good.
It's all good. It's all good.
Love that relationship, especially between the two departments there. Like you said, you have the product support and you have the customer service side of the world working together. You guys are going to be offering a pretty steadfast and delivered product. I'm sure your customer bases appreciate that. I know as my side of the world there, I know my customers appreciated that. So good job, guys. I appreciate that. Going down the line here, I'm going to let one of you kind of, Marc, if you want to jump into the BTA technical training, you want to talk a little bit about that, please do so.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the BTA is where all of our training occurs, obviously. So various platforms. We have a few instructors in Texas. We have also instructors, I believe, that give courses also in Singapore now. So we have various courses that are available. Every platform, new aircrafts, new models that we're currently in production, or legacy aircrafts also, you can get the courses on there. You have airframe courses. You have the avionic courses that are specific also to each model that you can get. So, I mean, Greg, if you want to jump in, go ahead.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, Marc. It's really, we have a great bunch of folks at our Bell Training Academy. They from the pilot instruction clear down to, I mean, you get it all there.
Yep.
But I mean, one of the gentlemen used to work on Air Force One that's in our avionics training there. So to tell you the kind of caliber,
holy smokes,
the kind of caliber of instructors we have there, but they're all amazing. And I think if anybody's attended a BTA course, they know what I'm talking about. I mean, the facility is fantastic, and just like us, they may have subject matter experts that may not be teaching that particular course that day, but they're right there, and they'll pull them in and they'll give a quick snippet on what's going on or what they're learning that day, and it just makes all the difference to the customers. It's a pretty great offering for the customers to get their training, and also it should be noted that if you're at an organization that has, let's say you've got, 10 technicians, engineers that need training, they can come to you and train you in your facility as well. which is pretty cool because, and really where it benefits the customer is a lot of these organizations, and let's be clear, it doesn't go unnoticed by Bell that it is demanding to send folks through training. Facilities like, for instance, utility operators that I deal with in my region, it's really hard for them to put anybody through through maintenance training in the summer during fire season.
Yeah.
So now look what happens in the fall. The aircraft come in out of the field. Now they're going straight into maintenance, so they're prepping for next year's fire season, and they may be doing complete refurbs, tear downs. You don't know. It's really hard to get people released from your shop to go spend a week or two in Fort Worth at the BTA. So some of my customers have capitalized on the BTA coming out to them and training all their, as many as they can pull off.
Yep.
And they'll train for 4 or 5 hours, and they'll let them work in the afternoon or whatever back on their projects. And it doesn't disrupt the workflow as much for the operator as well. So there's a lot of options that the BTA is willing to offer, and they'll look at anything within reason. They have their course curriculum they have to stick to meet the requirements for the training, but they're pretty good. And they're, like I said, they're really, really good people there that are excited to teach. So it's a good thing.
You're working on sometimes less of a timeline there, especially if a machine's been on fire all summer. Now, if that same machine is a heli machine, now you got less of a window. So good luck in trying to schedule people like that. Sorry, Marc, you're going to say?
I was going to say, the BTA is a little bit like PSEs. Also Bell employees are actually customers of the BTA. Every PSEs go through the BTA, CSEs, same thing. They all go through the BTA to get trained. Mm-hmm. And that's also an opportunity for the PSEs and the CSEs to share with the instructors of some stuff that we are seeing, so they can actually go and maybe modify or talk a little bit more about specific parts in their course with our customers, so we can, again, share the information or specific stuff that we've seen. Yeah.
Something that might be unique to the region.
Exactly.
Something you guys probably could have dealt with in another sector of the planet.
Yep.
Yeah. I will say, to add to that, there are times where we'll be troubleshooting a system or a component, and I'll reach out to the BTA. Hey, have you guys seen this? Can you go look at this in your tore down training aid to see, and they're super helpful. They'll do everything they can to help the customer and help us. So and they share tools with us every once in a while. When we get in a pinch, they have all the tooling. We'll have to borrow a tool every once in a while to help a customer out or whatever. We encourage customers to have their tools, but sometimes things happen. Tools get broke or whatever, and it's okay. We can help. And the BTA is right there to help.
Oh, that's good. Until that next Mac truck or Mac Tools comes around, how those guys are like an ice cream truck, right? All they got to do is ring the bell, and you see technicians running at the Snap-on or the Mac Tools or whatever. You see them all dodging it. So
yeah. Oh yeah.
Good for you for guys being that helpful. So yeah, we grown adults basically start running around like it's an ice cream truck because you hear the Mac Tool guy, right? So
it's a mobile toy store. You get all your fun stuff.
Yeah. Excellent. So the Bell service facilities, you guys, I know are like world class, and including some of your I know the blade repair facilities. Just kind of shine a light on that as well, and like the accessibility into those. If somebody's having any type of questions or inquiries, like where do they call into? Is it to the CSEs and then they kind of get directed to there, or just kind of walk me through that?
They can call either. They can call the CSEs or PSE, and we can get them connected to connected to the facilities. Like our blade shop, once again, they'll send technicians all over the world to do field repairs on blades. I was just talking to the blade shop manager last week. We were together at an event, and he said he's had technicians going nonstop back and forth to Latin America for the last month and a half. So wow. They provide really, really good field support, but also they're focused on, their turn time for the customer is a big issue. Aircraft out of service. So they really have made improvements in the turn times on getting blades repaired and out the door. And to that point, it ties back to PSE and the engineering group to get a repair when they have to go outside and get expanded repairs on some of the blades that have damage or whatever. So all these different business units work together.
Exactly. Yeah.
For the same goal, of supporting the customer. So, and that pretty much goes the same for our Bell-owned facilities, like Bell Miami. We'll send technicians around all the facilities, Bell Piney Flats, Prague, Singapore. Within the regulatory bounds, they can send folks out and do certain things of field support and such, and we have no problem doing that to help the customer get things going. So pretty good, pretty impressive support network.
And
Let's put it that way.
And if I may add, Greg, a lot of the time what will happen is that either a CSE or a PSE will be contacted. If we take example off a blade, for example, and then this customer found a damage on his blade. Okay, well, is it within the maintenance manual? No, it's not. You actually have to send your blade for repair. That's where PSE and CSEs can refer our blade shop, and we know that they have the capabilities to do it, and they have everything that's needed to support that customer's part. So that's really where, again, like Greg was saying, it kind of ties hand in hand for the support of the Bell products there. So, yeah.
Awesome. Just like your 212 reference earlier, buddy. Robust.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, we try.
Robust. And sexy as a 429, Marc. I didn't drop you on that one, man.
Sexy as a 429.
Sexy as a 429. You know what? That should be a logo on a t-shirt. I'm as sexy as a 429, baby.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, there we go. Hey, there we go.
There's a new marketing plaque right there, right?
It's going to be our podcast motto right there.
Yeah.
Our logo for the podcast, right?
Sexy as a 429.
As rugged as a 212, but as sexy as a 429. The best of both worlds. Right there.
Yeah.
I think we're onto something here. You know what? For a young guy in the organization, Greg, you're pretty smart.
I'm trying.
Brag a little bit right now, because I know there's the cornerstone of success is always kind of dependent upon some of your partners as well too. I know the CSFs and the EMCs you guys are dealing with there too. That's a process too, and kind of supporting them in addition to your internal customers as well as your external customers.
Exactly.
That's got to be a heck of a undertaking as well to kind of manage all that and manage expectations of the CSFs too.
So really, our CSF network, in my opinion, and I think it's very well shared amongst the Bell folks, it's a backbone to a lot of our support to our customers in region.
Yep.
And we have some fantastic CSF partners out there.
Yeah.
So skilled and so willing to jump in and just help the customer with any sort of issue going on, and they care. Mm-hmm. They're all like cut from the same cloth. They care about the customer. They fly the Bell flag, and you go around the world, and well, I'll give you an example.
Please.
We get aircraft that are picked up here in Mirabel and delivered to somewhere in the world, right? And some of them are flown. We had an aircraft going to Mexico last year. Left here, got part of the way there, had a major issue with the windshield, and they diverted to a Bell CSF. The CSF took them right in, changed the windshield, got them back up and running, and met their requirements to get on contract.
That's it, yeah.
Heck of a pit stop.
Well, yeah, and at face value, you go, oh, that's pretty cool. But think about the logistics. Think about having your facilities where where they need to be.
Yep.
And we have facilities located like that. They're regionalized where they can help customers. In their region. But then a lot of the CSFs aren't opposed to going out and doing whatever they can for customers in the field as well. I mean, they'll send maintenance teams out. I've had guys in Hawaii. I've had them.
Yep.
But they're cut from the same cloth. I mean, I should say, I started in the CSF world working on Bells.
I did
I
too.
worked for a CSF, and that's where you start. Yeah. So, they're a key. The point is, they're a key part to our support network.
Imagine when you get that call, you're in Mirabel, if you're a CSF north of the 49th parallel, and it's January, it's cold. We need to send you down to Hawaii to go fix a helicopter. It's like, oh no.
Oh yeah.
Oh, please twist my rubber arm. Oh no.
We'll go if we have to.
Yeah.
Why are you packing all that sunscreen? Don't worry about it. It's safety first.
Absolutely.
We won't tell the wife, but we'll go.
I'll have to listen to this podcast, Marc. We're done for, right?
Yeah, we're done.
You come home with the tan in January, February when it's -30, -40, you ain't getting no love from anybody.
No.
Except the customer that you just helped out. That's about it. So
absolutely.
awesome. Well, I know, like I said, so working with your CSFs, good job on calling. They are the backbone. They are the backbone of what you guys kind of go through. And they are kind of, like you said, they're an extension of your front line support there. So kudos to you for you guys for kind of vetting and kind of creating the CSFs, and you're working with particular AMCs now because of the engines that fly in them. So I guess you got to work hand in hand with that as well too. So there's got to be particular challenges in working with that as well. So kudos for you guys to doing that.
It needs to be mentioned that it's not easy being a CSF and maintaining that relationship with us. So they put a lot into holding those CSF, certificates.
Sure they do.
And so when you're going to visit the CSFs, keep that in mind.
Yeah.
They invest in a lot of training. They do a lot to just maintain that relationship with us at Bell. So that shouldn't go unnoticed. They invest a ton in our partnership. So it's good. It's good stuff.
If you're gonna fly a flag and carry a badge, it's a good thing that your facility is polished to kind of keep it up there. So good work.
Yep.
Travel within the trade show side of the world now. This is the interesting part of stuff. We can't call it HEI anymore. We got to call it the real cool name of Verticon.
Verticon, yeah.
Talk to me about some of the stuff that you guys kind of go through. Because listen, you guys are one of the biggest, if not the biggest, kind of displays at every show that I'm ever at. So let's talk about Verticon and the trade shows and what do you guys have coming up, and including some. And you know what? Then maybe you reference some of the M&O dates because those are great little conferences.
They are. Yeah.
I've always come away with those. With the concentrated contact amount of people that really want to be there and kind of learn what you guys are telling them. So kudos to whoever you guys are playing with that, but just, kind of walk us down that a little bit.
There's a lot going on, obviously. So I'll let maybe Greg talk after about the booth, specifically what we do in the booth to support everybody that's there. But every event that we try to do, like Verticon and other stuff that we do, there's always a portion of it that is a presentation by the PSEs. And that's really technical updates that we do for our products. So we always send at least 2 guys, one that will cover the lights, one that will cover the intermediate and then the medium aircrafts. And we discuss about new bulletins that have been released. We'll discuss about, obviously, our support, any improvements that are coming, any new kits or whatever that could be there, some maintenance tips sometimes. So if you've been having trouble doing one thing, okay, we talk about it. So these are always available every trade show that we do. We do those. And also we are available to go at your facility, but we'll talk about that after. So I'll let Greg maybe discuss what's happening.
Sure. Yeah, please elaborate.
So, our role as CSEs, we support the demo team with these big, like Verticon, for example. We'll help move aircraft into the booth, get the booth set up, and that's logistically, that is probably the most stressful part of my job, is moving aircraft at a show like that with everything that's going on around you, and you're moving, $7, $8, $9, $15 million worth of aircraft into one little mess out. It's like, whew. But we get them all in the booth, get them all set up. And this year at Verticon, we tried something new.
Yep.
Where we actually had a PSE CFD kiosk where you could walk up and ask us any technical question. I manned it. I had a couple of folks there. We had PSE folks there.
Cool.
And you just, it was, I'd like to say it was a huge success because we had maintainers come up asking us a question. We had a big screen TV right there hooked to our laptop. We'd pull up the information right there, discuss it with them, show them what we need, email them what they needed. It was something we had never done before, and it was fantastic, I thought, and really well received by the customers coming by the booth. But
exactly,
and we supplement the presentations that PSC does. We'll be standing in the background, and if customers, let's face it, sometimes people depending on the personality, they may not want to ask the question in a crowd. They may not just corner you in the corner of the room, and while you're having a soda, they'll ask you a question. So we try to be available for them for that too.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun, and the MNR knows we haven't had, or the M&O conferences, we haven't had any this year. We had some challenges with some other things going on, so we couldn't really schedule any, but we're bringing them back. But one key point about the M&O conference is that I know the folks that attend them get it, but if you haven't attended one, you need to attend the M&O conference, because this is where you network with the folks in your segment of the industry that really those relationships can help you down the road too with what you're doing on maintenance side.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the other key part of the M&O conference thing is, and the Verticon. We've got AppsCon coming up, which is Airborne Public Safety. That's going to be in Houston.
We'll see you there.
We'll have 2 PSEs going there. There's going to be IE renewals availability there for whoever needs training or support there. We'll be there again.
Yep.
That's a great concept, guys. Like to have a hands-on right there and then. Like, don't get me wrong. I've worked a ton of Verticons and HAIs, and you're standing there and you have some of the technical people there that quality, maybe my quality manager can answer the question too right away. But if you have somebody dedicated right at the help desk, that's next level. Good work.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was thought up by the team, and we supported it fully. It's pretty cool actually. And any show that has, like Verticon, that has demonstration flights that are going on, there's maintenance that needs to be done on those aircraft. To maintain that demo schedule, whether it's a 25-hour daily, whatever. We help the demo team do that maintenance, and that twofold. Number one, it helps unload the burden on the demo team to some degree, but it also keeps us sharp on our skills for that model.
It does, yeah.
So we actually get some hands-on, which we can't touch customers' aircraft. We can provide, consultation on how to repair it and advice, but legally we do not touch customers' aircraft.
Yep. Understandable. Understandable.
And it's like any tool, when you don't use it for a while, it gets maybe not as sharp as it should be. So you need to freshen up your skills. So we take that opportunity when we can to work on company aircraft as CSEs. So we get our hands dirty on occasion.
Gotcha.
And it's fun. And PSEs right there with us. They help us. So it's pretty cool.
That's awesome. And to the general public eye, they would just think that, those helicopters just parked outside. It's, and they're there for the whole week. I'm like, no, you don't understand. Like, those are live running machines that need daily looking at, right? So it's trying to kind of explain that to.
I will say one other thing that should be said about, when we're doing demos at like Verticon and all that, our competitions there doing demos as well. And we all help each other out with safety issues and everything. And if somebody from another competitor needs a tool and we have it, we're going to help.
Yeah.
We want everybody to be successful in those shows, because it's not about them and us, right? And they've helped us out. I just want to, give them the recognition that the other OEMs are stand up.
We spoke about this with a couple of guests on our show. It's literally, you said this earlier in the statement here earlier, guys, is that you don't know who you might call upon when in the time of need. And it could be very well your competitor. And they, like 99.9% of the times, they help you out.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. Yep.
That's this cool thing about our little helicopter industry of ours that we have. So I'm happy to say I'm a part of that. And I've been a part of that to the point where I've kind of used it and actually supported it too. So it's, when you have somebody that's like in a bad pinch and they can help you out, man, that's a good person right there.
Yeah.
Maybe to expand also, I want to maybe touch back on the MNO, so the maintainer and operator conference. Like Greg said, I mean, this year there's nothing scheduled for now. So there probably won't be any this year, but most likely next year, hopefully we'll have some.
Okay.
But that's another opportunity for customers to get trained. And there's Bell that are there with the PSEs. You have 2 full days of presentations and training that are available. We have a whole bunch of third party that are there for kits and stuff like that, which you can go and listen to their technical update that they have to do, or a briefing that they have to do. So again, usually we try to do like 4 or 5 a year, but this year there's none, but we'll see next year. Hopefully they'll be back.
I'm excited because please let us know when the calendar is released on those things. Every one of those MNOs that I've been to, has been stacked with people that want to be there and stacked with the wealth of information that was given out by the presenters. And like you say, third-party vendors like drive shafts and stuff, right? Like it's
Absolutely. Absolutely.
so, but awesome. That's awesome. Okay. Good to know about the M&Os. Good to know about M&Os.
Yeah. To add to that, it shows to Marc's comment there, it shows our relationship with our vendors and how important it is to us to have that good relationship.
Gives them a chance to kind of stand side by side with you at the M&Os. Like you get to stand shoulder to shoulder with you guys at the M&Os. That's the best part.
Yeah, it's awesome.
We're nearing the end here, guys, but the general, I know the history of Bell and kind of where you guys have kind of actually happy belated birthday to Bell, because I think it was 89th birthday last week, right? So
yeah. Last week, yeah.
Yeah. So happy belated birthday to the Bell helicopter family there. And it's, tell us a little bit about like the past of it all. Just the general kind of Cole's Notes version, but where, without getting into too much of the details, but where are we going for the future, boys? Loaded. How's that for the pin out of grenade?
It's all flying saucers.
Yeah.
All flying saucers. Yeah. So,
I mean, for now, it's not a secret. Like we still manufacture like 4 aircrafts. Like we have the 505, the 407, the 429, and the 412 ZPX now. Mm-hmm. So, but going forward, everybody heard about, not going to go too much into detail, but the 525, obviously, hopefully will be coming soon. So that's one that we're still working on, looking at, obviously paying a lot more attention to it. So, but yeah, I think as far as future programs or future aircrafts coming in, well, I'll let Greg talk about it.
Yeah. We're having problems with the podcast. Recording all of a sudden.
Boy. Yeah. Well, we had a team that worked really hard on the military side to win the Valor 280 contract.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a good point.
And that is a huge contract for Bell, and we're executing. And that's going to, eventually down the line, you will see, like with everything, some bleed off from there to other segments of the business. But that's our focus.
Sure.
280, 525, getting it out there and improving our products that are on the line now.
Exactly.
Out there flying every day. And
coming up, lots of exciting things coming up. You guys have always kind of been able to kind of churn that, respectively, to kind of always kind of be having something hyped up, and you guys are definitely matching it. So congratulations to you and your marketing team for doing that. So on the marketing side of the people, another standing O to the marketing people.
Amen.
Amen. Yeah.
Yeah, there's just a lot of things, exciting things happen at Bell. It happens every day, like I'm sure everywhere. But we're fortunate. I say this a lot. We work with some really good, honest people, and it's a good thing. It's easy to come to work every day when you know you're working with the caliber of people we get to work with every day.
Yep.
So we're very fortunate. Let's put it that way.
What do they say? The talent of the hand is what clinches the fist, right? So
yeah. That's right. Yeah.
Awesome. Anything on that one, Marc? We're good with it?
I'm good with it.
Okay. Well, we got to talk about one at least kind of one little tech talk. Well, we're going to open it. We're going to crack the egg wide open. And we were talking about earlier, I think you were kind of mentioning earlier, the use of contact enhancers.
Yeah.
Feel free to elaborate. Let's make this conversation technical.
All right, so here we go. So
don't put too much.
Follow the instructions on the package. No, a lot of things like with contact enhancers, like I touched on a little bit earlier. We'll get calls where you're having a variety of electrical, like CAST message failure messages or communication messages. FADEC issue messages, stuff like that. We have seen in the last, I would say, correct me if I'm wrong, Marc, maybe the last year and a half, 2 years, that a lot of these issues can be resolved by just cleaning the connectors, the cannon plugs, and cleaning off the excess contact enhancer. We used to promote contact enhancers to being the cure-all for everything. Now we're reaping the rewards of that because for example, someone may go in and be troubleshooting or doing routine maintenance, disconnect a cannon plug on a FADEC control. They'll clean it up a little bit, throw a little contact enhancer on there, put it back together. Three months later, B shift mechanic comes in, does the same task, puts a little contact enhancer on there. Next thing you know, you got contact enhancer dripping out of the connector.
Oh boy.
And it's jumping, it's making contact path between the pins instead of just enhancing the pin contact with the socket. So now then you get all these erroneous, non-related electrical failures. And we go back and just recommend, hey, go back, check your cannon plugs, clean them up, clean them with the appropriate cleaner, dry them out, put them back together, see if your problems go away.
Yeah.
There's always residual contact at enhancer in those plugs, no matter how hard you. I mean, you really have to clean them hard to clean them up, to get it all out of there. But we have seen, like I say, it's trending more where people will, whether they do it intentionally, I don't think so, but they end up having more than enough contact enhancer on the connections, and it leads to a lot of problems. And it's more, the other thing that adds to this, with these integrated avionics suites and the low voltage signal that's used, it doesn't take much of a voltage, a millivolt to jump a pin will trigger some faults.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the stuff we want to get into. I mean, that's not kind of, that is the stuff we want to get into. Hey, good practices, clean those up, dry them out, and plug them back in. And then unplug them again and have a look at the pins. If they're wet, you still got plenty of contact enhancer in there. You're good. Don't do anything,
And maybe a little tip to add to that, Greg, think about what you just done. I mean, if something shows up in the morning and you've just done maintenance and you know that you've actually touched that specific connector, I mean, most of the time, that's where your issue will be. So just think, what was done on the aircraft? What have I done on the aircraft lately that could actually cause this issue? And go and check it out. So
recap your steps.
Yeah.
Yep. Back up on your steps. Yep. Back step,
Back up on your steps,
backtrack,
yep.
and figure it. Yep. Yeah. Good point, Marc. Good point. Excellent point. Yeah.
Awesome. And this is exactly what I think we're going to kind of get into here, guys. And like I said, it's super exciting Bell Tech Talk platform. Oh, that's a mouthful just to say alone. But having this Tech Talk available now to our listeners here and kind of like having them tune in, putting this in the earpods. And, the next segment here will probably lead off with particular, technical service data or technical data or something that we kind of walk through with your experience, of course.
At the end of the day, if you need support from PSE, product support at Bell Flight, fairly easy. I mean, it's probably going to be even faster than if you send it to me directly. Yeah. So because we have a whole bunch of people looking at those email boxes. And
since your podcast, your podcast famous now, if they don't answer you right away, go right to the service centers.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. And it's the same for us. You may not know who your CSE is, or it may have changed or whatever. So just go to the My Bell site and look at the map there, and you can click on your area, and it'll pull up who you need to call if you need anything. So
there you go. At the end of the day, it's all about keeping you up and flying, right? Keeping you up and flying and supporting. So
it is.
Yep.
It is.
Safety. Flying safely.
So to that note, gents, this has been an awesome podcast. That we've experienced a couple of technical hiccups, and we'll get through it. A little bit of editing magic will happen. But you guys have been awesome guests. Spectacular guests. Thank you for the spotlight. Thank you for the initial Tech Talk, Bell Tech Talk. And I look forward to kind of really sitting down with you guys more on this and unearthing a bunch of more topics here as we go along. So thanks for all of that. And I'll see you next week in AppsCon.
Yeah.
Right on. Perfect. That'll be fantastic. Hey, just one last thing real quick.
Please. Yeah.
Customers, if customers have something they want us to talk about, they need to let us know.
Yeah.
That's right.
Absolutely.
That's right. Yeah. You beat me to the punch on that one, Greg. If we're, once we launch this thing up and running and you want to have a subject for us to kind of cover and discuss, email us, please. And we'll get her up and running for you guys. That's about as interactive as we're going to get. I love it. The fact that we can kind of get to ground zero and having people, direct questions, and we can kind of respond to it here. We might even have a segment where there could be a leading question opening up the next show. So that could be worked out as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I mean, we're doing it for our customers.
Yeah. So to that, I say, guys, awesome Vertical MRO podcast. Thanks again for being awesome guests that you are. Enjoy. I guess, Greg, you're still up in Canada. Are you up in Mirabel?
I'm in Mirabel. Yeah.
Enjoy the smoked meat delicatessen and where and when you can. Right. So
Hey, yeah.
Enjoy the good weather that Montreal's getting right now as well, too, guys. And I look forward to our next talk. So,
Likewise.
forward to it.
Thank you.
gents, have yourselves an awesome day. This is Vertical MRO.
Thanks so much.
Thanks for listening to the Bell Tech Talk segment of Vertical MRO podcast. We want to hear from you. Have a technical topic for the team or a favorite technical tip? Let us know. Our email is techtalk@bellflight.com. That's TECHTALK @bellflight.com. If you're having a technical issue with the aircraft, as always, our team is here 24/7 at product support@bellflight.com. If you like what you heard, subscribe and come back for more.